fill your thirst beside the river. Wash the journey from your hands. Feel the comfort flow inside you. Come this far, you understand.
Hi, welcome to Healing Outside the Box. I am your host, Rosemary LaChance, an energy healer and a spiritual advisor and teacher.
Hi, and I'm Carla Augustin, a spiritual teacher and the co-host.
This is not a religious show, and no matter what religion or belief you follow, the information we give you will only enhance your beliefs. We do not try to convince you of anything. This series is recorded and will be shown in your area on your local public service cable network. Please contact them for dates and times.
If you have a group that you think would be interested in what we have to offer, we are available to come to your group and teach from this series. We will give you our contact information at the end of the show. Please visit Rosemary or Hans's website, where you will find a wealth of information about our show and this series. Our shows are now available for you to watch on YouTube for free. Just go on YouTube and type in Healing Outside the Box to make your choices. We are constantly adding new shows, so keep checking back. We're also on Facebook under Healing Outside the Box. Please like our page for the latest information about our show, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Okay, this is our show number 218, and the title of the show is A Prophetess for Our Time. This is a show so many of you have been waiting for. It's about Gabriele, the prophetess for our time. She is the teaching prophetess through whom God, Christ, and her dual, Brother Emmanuel, speak through, to help us to understand why we are here on earth and why things happen as they do, and how to get back home to heaven. Carla has prepared many questions that she feels that you, our audience, would ask about her. Gabriele never tells you that what her messages tell us is the only way, but is the straightest and hardest way. She does not tell you that you must believe and agree with what she says, but she does tell you that if it resonates within you, then please follow it. No religious path that says this is the only way and that they are the only ones who can get you home is not telling you the truth at all. They are just looking for people to worship, support, and follow them. We all have to do the work on ourselves to truly recognize ourselves and clear up what we need to clear up so that we can go back to our heavenly home from where we all came from before the fall. Our Father wants us all his children back home as he loves us all, every single one of us, no matter what we did. He is the forgiving, unconditional, loving Father of us all. And now Carla and I will try to help you to understand Gabriele's mission for our times as best as humanly possible. And as usual, thank you for joining us. And now, Carla, on with the show.
Okay, great. Well, you know, I've been really excited for this episode because I do want to learn about Gabriele. I'm not familiar with her, and I started co-hosting with you and doing Hans's Life Explained series, and it's like, well, where is the information coming from? So I'm really excited. We're digging into this tonight.
I'm so glad that you're so into it with me.
Yeah. Oh, I am. Now, is Gabriele, she's still with us, right, on this planet? Mm-hmm. She's alive.
Yes, she's still alive.
Okay, and where does she live?
In Germany.
She's in Germany.
Würzburg, Germany, yeah.
All right. Now, what is a prophetess?
A prophetess is someone who brings you the word of God or Christ or angels through impression, through their open consciousness, through how can I say it? She's not a trance. She's like a medium, so to speak, but not a trance medium. So she does not go into a trance.
She's receiving information, but she's fully conscious.
She hears it in her head. Mm-hmm. She's in a bright room when she gave all the lecture. She's in a bright room, and she just talks from her impression. She hears the voice in her head, and she speaks it.
And she says what it is. So a prophetess is someone that receives information from God, from the heavens,
God, yeah.
from the heavens, and passes that information
On to us.
So how does someone get selected to be a prophetess?
Well, it was Christmas of in the 70s, I think it was 76, something like that. And her husband she was just married, she had a child, a girl, and her husband used to say, when I look at you, I see like an angel standing behind you. I see someone standing behind you. And she looked, she didn't see anything. Okay, and then that disappeared. This happened a few times. Then all of a sudden she heard these words in her head saying, you have to read her book, which will tell you about her books, telling her that she's been chosen for our time to teach. She's a teaching prophetess, to teach all of us how to get back home. The time has come. God wants us back home now. So that's what her mission is. She's been here many times before. She has incarnated other times.
Other lives.
And she's been learning and being prepared for this.
So this is the first time she's a prophetess?
Yes.
Okay, for this time.
Right.
All right, so she's selected because she's
prepared.
She's prepared.
And she volunteered for it.
She volunteered for it.
Before she came over, everything was all set up. She volunteered for it.
All right.
But she had to live her life and do her thing until the time came when it was ready to be done.
All right.
And she had to learn some things also as she was going. Everything is learning too. She had to learn everything too.
And when you say learn, you mean through past lives?
Yeah, through past lives and through the beginning of this life.
And the beginning of
And then once the information was imparted to her, she had to also do this. She had to walk this path herself before she could teach it. So it was a process. And
okay.
Yeah.
Everything she talks about, she had to
accomplish herself.
She had to accomplish herself.
You can't say, which most people do, leaders, do what I say, but don't do what I do.
Yeah, so she's really walked the walk.
She's walked the walk and talked the talk.
And talked the talk, about all of that. So this was the life where she was ready to be a prophetess.
Yep.
And so she was she a young mom at the time?
Yeah.
Or all right.
She was young.
So what was the time frame? She started hearing the voice. Had she heard voices before?
No.
No. So she started hearing the voice till when she really basically comes out and starts giving these messages.
Right.
Like, was it, a couple
She heard
weeks,
it
a couple
all,
years, or
from the time she started?
Yeah.
Oh,
but she heard the voice.
well, let's see. I think that was a 76. If I may be, stand corrected. If you read the book, it'll tell you exactly. And I first heard of this in 1982.
Okay.
So there was quite a few years there. And it wasn't easy for her. She had to learn all these things. She had to experience all these things. Everything that she taught us, she had to go through. Because she started what they call an inner path. The path to God is a path within, not without. Each one has to do it for themselves alone. No one can do it for us.
Did she start this while she was a prophetess, you mean, or she was starting this before?
Well,
okay.
Yeah. In other words, you don't just say you're a prophetess. She's a woman, and she learned all this, and she did all this, and after that, she's called a prophetess because she didn't say, I'm the prophetess. She never said that.
Okay.
She was called that.
Okay.
She never declared herself a prophetess, ever.
Okay, so
she's not that kind of person. She's very meek and mild and humble and loving and compassionate and everything I can say,
So she started, I interrupted, she started the inner life, you're saying?
Yeah, she started the inner path.
Inner path.
Yeah, it's called the inner path.
And what is that, the inner path?
It's a course you take where they teach you how to open up your senses on your consciousness centers. And they teach you how to, like, say, for instance, you walk in the woods, what you should do on that walk, the nature kingdoms, how you should treat trees, how you should treat all the nature kingdoms, how you should treat animals, how you should treat each other. All of that's the path, teaching you how to do that, teaching you about your ways, your judgmental ways, and, all the things that we do, So
she got out there and was teaching?
Yeah.
She got out there, that's what she she did. She got out there and she was teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And then, did she develop a following? Would that be correct saying it that way?
I'll tell you. I'm going to tell you what it's about.
Yeah,
okay,
please.
this following, it's called Universal Life, the Inner Path, okay? And there are 61 countries that participated. The last signature campaign about removing that's about her Land of Peace. She has a Land of Peace where she brings in animals. They rescue animals and they put them all into on this grounds, and people take care of them. They feed them, and they rescued a lot of them, and then a lot of them, wild animals just came, you know. And they had a campaign to help to raise some money for this, just for that, and there were 61 countries that was participated in it. All right, there's no membership for this, but there are thousands of people in Africa where 10 countries are involved with schools, orphanages, and newly farming techniques that keep them sustained, and have built libraries and books and DVDs. Thousands of people in Europe and Asia listen to radio programs on many topics and have purchased books or CDs or DVDs. And also our streaming TV 24/7 is available in many countries, including the USA. The TV programs for Sophia TV, and that is her name for these times. That's the name God gave her, Sophia. Instead of Gabriele, yeah. They're available on ROKU, World On Demand, on the main website from the studio, radiosantec.com. There are several special weekends during the year where hundreds of people come to a benefit concert of classical music to raise money for the animals, which supports 800 acres available to rescued animals and their care, and the Wild Animal Hospital that is built on the land. There's a clinic. There's healing and fasting houses. There's a shopping center of many types of stores and restaurants where all food is vegan or vegetarian. There is a large grocery store that sells the many food products made from the farms that use peaceable cultivation, meaning no slurry or manure or chemicals or deep tilling that kills the microorganisms. So they farm. Spirit told them how to farm. Spirit told them how to plant the vegetables, how they grow, and they have the most beautiful vegetables that you ever want to see. And they sell them on an open market. They have breads and pastries and all that they're told how to cook and how to make. And everybody flocks there for them to buy these things. There's not a commune. People just live in a village, you know, among other people, among everyone. There's no commune, no things like that.
Nothing like that.
No, but over there in Würzburg, Germany, that's where she is, and that's where they have
so anybody can
buildings.
live there.
Yeah,
it's not.
They have a hospital. They have wonderful, wonderful things over there.
All right.
And this is in all the countries in Europe. There are people, some people from each country who participate in this, who walk the inner path. United States too, but they say United States is more of a desert. People are harder to do this because I think it's because we're such a plentiful land, you know, our heritage, and we have everything we want. And I don't think people are so concerned with their spirituality.
Well, do you have to go there to walk the inner path?
No, you can walk here. Yeah, oh yeah.
You can do it here.
Oh yeah.
But you can do it here just in your circumstances now, or do you have to be in a special community? Nothing like that. Nothing like that.
Someone can be looking at this. I'm going to have the control room put up a couple of books that are about her life, okay? And they can buy those books. And then at the end of the show, when we have that website, the people can go on that website and they can pick on any books they want to read.
The books are going up there.
Okay, this is one of her stories. It's a woman's life in service of the eternal, and it's her biography, my path as a teaching prophetess and emissary of God at this turn of the time, by Gabriele. That's one book. And the other one is The Emissary of the Christ of God, His Prophetess of Today, Gabriele, the biography. So these books you can read, and they'll tell you all about her. And then there's so many books on this website that the people can read. And there's a book that is called The Inner Path, and you can buy that and you can start the course.
To understand.
Yeah, to understand.
Right. So that's really what got her started then, is that's how she kind of like entered in, is talking about the inner path, and then just the people, the word spread and people listened to her, and it kind of grew. So she lives in this community, this town in Germany, and they're very self-sustained type type of thing. Okay, so she's there. And let's see. So let's back up a little bit. Like, what is her background? Like, was she like normal little childhood kind of thing? You know,
loving parents.
Loving parents. I mean, she wasn't like she didn't have a hint of this until she heard the voice, right? Yeah. That's really remarkable.
Yeah, she was just a nice, pleasant person, you know. And then she fell in love, got married, had a child, you know, and was living her life. And then one day, it's like that. Just like Christ when he walked the earth.
Yeah. Loving
parents, carpenter, built things for people, and all. And then one day, so the angel appeared to him. He got his calling, and he started teaching. So he was a teaching for that time.
She's a teacher.
She's a teacher prophetess for this time.
She's a teacher for this
These
time.
will not. There will be no more prophets or prophets after this.
This is what's been said.
This is a time when everything has happened. There'll be a new heaven and a new earth. And by new heaven, it means a state of consciousness in people's minds, a new way of thinking, a spiritual way of thinking. And through that, they will purify the earth, and they will be all the businesses, the enterprises, the places will be like that. Okay, so but
supposedly that's coming.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? That's coming?
Well, yeah, that's going to be coming someday.
Yeah.
Either here or another dimension right around the earth. So.
Let's see. All right, so I covered all of that. How old is she now?
Right now, she's in her 80s. Just see, I'm 77, 74, 85 or something like that, 86, something like that, yeah.
Okay. Is her child involved in it or has a separate life?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what her daughter's doing now.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Now, does she continually receive information or did the information come all at once?
Oh, no.
It was
over time.
all over time.
Oh, yeah. So you say she started 76 and she kept on until, well, past 2000.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Long time, yeah.
A long time she did.
She traveled all over the world. She came to the United States, and that's when I met her, when she came to the United States. And I was chosen to be her driver.
Yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah. And I drove her to different places in New York and in Connecticut to give the talks and to prophecy and all that. And got to know her. What
was your impression of her?
Such a wonderful, compassionate, gentle woman. I remember in my mind, outstanding is that one of the times we were leaving a group, and the men, she has people that surround and protect her, you know, and they were saying it's time to go. So we were standing there ready to walk down back to the door to go out to the car, and she looked at everybody, and they were waving, and she started to cry. Just because that's how she is. She's so compassionate and so loving. I have goosebumps. She loves everyone, you know, and she just put her head up and she started to cry. And she waved again, and then she grabbed me. She put her arms around me, and we walked out of there arm in arm with our arms around each other. And it's just, you know, her goodness, her loving,
the love,
compassionate,
the love.
Unconditional loving.
She radiates
person.
it, it sounds like.
She really does, you know. So, and she's funny. She has a good personality, a good sense of humor, you know. She's just like an everyday person, you know, who's very spiritual now, which is what we can all become if we walk this path. And the path, when I say a path, it's learning about yourself. It's meditation, so you can find out about yourself. And when you get to a certain level on that path, you too can hear angels talking to you. You too can hear Christ talk to you. And that's what she wants. This is not just for certain people. It's for everyone.
Right.
If you do the work,
you
can do it. But it's not easy.
Right.
You'd be surprised how not easy it is. Remember when Christ said to Lazarus said, "I love you so much." He said, I want to come with you. And he said, Jesus said, "Sell everything and come with me." He said, "I can't do that." He said, "Why?" "Because I have everything I worked so hard for." Remember that? He couldn't follow him. And that's the way it is. Even though we're not going to physically follow, some of the things that we may have to do or give up is not okay with everyone, you know. some of the ways we have to be is not okay with it. It's not easy. It's hard. Whereas you join a religion, and they'll say to you, just follow us, do these certain things, like ritual things, like confession, communion, rosaries, Stations of the Cross. I don't know what the Protestants and the other ones do, because I was born Catholic. And we'll give you the last rites and confession, and then you'll go to heaven. Well, surprise, it's not going to work that way. Nobody can do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. What good is them saying that they can get your sins forgiven when you don't know why you sinned in the first place? When in your heart and soul you're not really that sorry, and you go and do it again. See, no one can do it for you. I'm sorry to tell everybody out there, no one can do it for you. You have to do it yourself.
You have to do the work.
But there's people who can teach you and help you, but you have to do the work. And that's where a lot of people leave the path, but a lot of them stay. So it's up to each and every individual one.
Yeah, spirituality is challenging.
It is. It really is.
Stay on the path. So has she revealed all the information that she's heard? All right.
Yeah, it's all out now.
It's
Everything
all out.
Is,
All right, so she hasn't held back. There's nothing left to say.
Now there may be new prophecies coming about the world in the future, in the future.
That she may hear.
That she may hear and tell us. I don't know.
She will share.
Yeah, she would if she's told to.
If she's told.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not 100% on that.
So it's not like she's walking around hearing
no more
chatter
teaching.
all the time.
No.
She just knows when
herself.
Her own personal, but in terms of sharing with others.
She's taught us everything we want to know about the inner path and about how to get home, because that's what her mission was. Okay.
Okay. All right. And let's see. Okay. So I think you touched on it a little bit before, but like, why now? You know, what is it? Because we're about to enter into, like you say, and like kind of like a new dawn?
Why did she come now?
Yeah, like why now? Disinformation.
You really have to ask that?
Yes.
Look at the world. Look at the world. Look at how we have become a Sodom and Gomorrah again.
Yeah.
Maybe not as barbaric as it was at that time, but let me tell you, in people's hearts and what souls and what they do is very barbaric.
Yeah.
And the greed and the things that go on, and there's things that go on in this world we don't even want to talk about.
Right.
So it's like we are approaching
that time.
We're approaching a time where we're going to destroy ourselves if we don't shape up,
if we're not careful,
if we don't change. Okay, and it's gotten worse. Lately, the last few years, it's gotten worse, and it's not because of anybody who's in power. It's us, because this world is ruled by the father of this world, who is Lucifer, and people worship him. And they may not worship him in a service, but they do have people that do worship in they have services with him. But that's not everyone. But we worship him in the fact that we love all the things that money can buy. We love all the beauty and the everything the world has to offer. The world is very powerful, and it's very hard to give things up. It's very hard to walk a straight and narrow path, to help everyone, help each other all the time, to not enable. There's a line there when you help someone who wants help, but when you enable someone who doesn't want to do anything for themselves, who has their hand out all the time, give me, I want, and you keep doing, you're enabling them to stay
not
helpless.
Right.
I'm talking about truly people who truly need help, and people who truly want to help themselves. That's the difference. Always remember that. Be a helper, don't be an enabler. Because that when you're an enabler, you make that person stay just where they are. They'll never learn anything. So that's important.
I think too, it's not like you have to give everything up.
Oh no.
No. I mean, you're supposed to enjoy things in life. But it's not really kind of a false God thing, though.
How much do you need?
Not necessarily put it before God kind of thing. You know, not do that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there's a point where you have the things that you need to live in this world.
Right.
And comfort and all that. Then there's a point that goes beyond.
Right.
Where you have the riches that are beyond where you have bathrooms made of gold.
Right.
You know, I don't want to go into all that, but you know what I mean, and I think our audience knows what I mean. There's a point where that's the limit, but it's not the way it is here. So how much do you need? How much money do you need? How many luxuries do you need?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think it's different for everybody, because I think depending upon past lives and that type of thing, you know, I think that, you know, people are meant to enjoy what they've achieved as long as things are done morally and, you know.
Right. And it's not just a thing with money. It's everything else, too. It's your attitude.
It's your attitude.
Being judgmental with people.
Right. How much do you share?
Yeah.
How much, you know,
People
how much
rob
do you,
people.
You know,
and people kill people.
Right.
And people rape people.
Right.
And all this thing that's going, you know, it's not just a money thing. It's all this, too.
Right.
You know? And there's people out there who want to do their job, like the policemen and the firemen that try to help us. And we put them down. But when we need them, they're there for us, you know? Things like that. Things like that have to change, you know? So
you met Hans, you said about 30 years ago,
yeah,
right?
1982.
And Hans is the one that does the
started.
Life Explained series
Right.
that we usually do on the show,
Right.
and we talk about afterwards. So he is saying that
he's walking the inner path, too.
he's walking the inner path, so he is sharing the information that Gabriele has given
he's
everybody.
trying to help, like
That's
I'm
what he's trying to do,
yeah.
right? And you're trying to help. Same thing, and is to spread this word of what she said, which has all been recorded because it's in books and they have it on TV and all of that. And then
so many books out there.
Right.
She has.
All right.
And then there's television shows,
Yeah,
everything.
they have
If they go on the
shows, you were
website, they
saying
can
that.
find everything that they want
Everything
to.
that they want.
Yeah.
All right. And is there any topics that have come up that you've disagreed with, or you're not so sure about?
No.
Or it's
There
all
really isn't, yeah.
resonated with you? It's
not-
really made sense to you?
Yeah, that's what it is. That's all I can say to someone. They say, well, why do you do that? Why do you fight? Why?
Right.
All I can say to people is it resonated in me.
Right.
In me, I was searching for a long time. Since 1975 is when I woke up and I was searching and searching. And it took me until 82 to find this path. I prayed and I prayed and I asked, I've got to know the meaning to life. I'm that kind of person. Things have to make sense to me. And I have to know the meanings of things. I've always been that way since I was a little girl. And I had to know that. And I had to understand why we were here. Why, when they told us God was fair, everybody had the same chance. And I said, no, that's not true. Some people are born rich, some people are born poor. Some people are blind, some people are deaf, some people are handicapped in so many different ways. Some people die at an early age, some people live to an old age. That's not fair. If you only have one life, that's not fair. And then when I came to this, I learned about reincarnation and everything else. I said, now it makes sense.
It made sense to you.
It had to make sense to me. And, you know.
So Hans on his show, is he repeating basically what Gabriele has said verbatim, or does he put his own spin on it?
He puts
his interpretation, I should say.
mainly
spin,
by
but
what Gabi says.
Mainly.
But he also reads other books and puts all information in there too.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you know.
Right.
So what that's why when we do them on the show, I come from the Universal Life.
Okay.
When I'm talking, I don't put from other people. But there are some other people. I've recently been reading Eckhart Tolle.
Interesting, yeah.
And he is very, very close in his beliefs and feelings and teachings to a universal life. Very
universal
close.
life, okay.
He has a wonderful way of teaching you how to meditate, how to quiet your mind. It's excellent. I would advise everybody to read his book, The Power of Now and New Earth. They are fantastic.
Okay, so it's
They could
really
start
the same
there, you know, and
kind
then
of, all right.
There's a lot of people who are close to those teachings that teach, you know, but you have to be able to discern.
Right. And Universal Life is the community?
That's the name. There's a lot of Universal Life. There's an insurance company, I think, too.
Right,
it's the Universal Life, the Inner Path, you know.
Right.
So that's what it is.
Oh, it's Universal Life, the
Inner
Inner Path.
Path, yeah.
All right, that's all one. Okay, so it's all that. All right, so does she offer classes anymore, or she do?
Oh, there's classes going on. She doesn't teach them anymore.
She doesn't teach
But
them
people
anymore.
do.
But people do.
Yeah.
You have to go to Germany, or do they ever come here?
Well, Yeah, you have to go
You
there
really
now.
have to go
yeah.
there.
And you really don't need the class anymore because you read the
You have-
books.
you have all the
yeah.
books.
You could start,
It's the same
if you have a
thing.
few people who are...
Study group.
Yeah, you could do your own study group.
Really? Do they have the? Do they have like a study group kind of?
Well,
questions
it would be
or
just,
kit
it
or-
wouldn't, nobody would be teaching it.
Right.
It would just
but-
be that you would read some of
talk
the
about
things
it.
and talk about it.
Yeah,
And
that's
maybe it'll help
interesting.
you to get through certain things. But there'd be no teachers, you know,
Right.
to tell you do this and do this and do that.
Yeah.
Just maybe a little help saying, okay, we're doing this together. What did you think? You had a hard time? Yeah. And some people come and they
Understanding
leave.
the concept, right?
And then they come and they leave, you know, they come back and they leave and they go back and forth a little bit if it's hard, you know, and whatever, until they settle into, it's not an easy, not easy, you know.
Now, does she make any public appearances at all, or does she live a pretty quiet life?
I think once in a while in Germany she may.
She does.
Yeah, when some of the revelations that she had given and some of the talks, she was not down there talking. She was among the audience saying things and having people hear her. So she's wasn't in the spotlight or anything like that. It's not for her.
She's just
anymore.
being present. Yeah. Does she feel as though the messages that she's revealed, does she?
Is she happy with what's going on?
Is she does she feel like it's being well received? Is she like?
Is she
how much it
pleased
has
with the
spread?
response?
Is she pleased with the response? Is
Not
she,
at all.
She's not. No.
And the reason is, look at the
people
shape
aren't
of the world.
listening?
Look at the shape of the world.
Does she feel like people aren't listening,
Right.
or people are just letting it go over their heads,
they're
or
all of that.
all of it?
They're not. Look at what shape the world is in right now. Like I said, we've regressed back to another Sodom and Gomorrah right now. Not primitive, but it's there. And
Right.
be kidding yourself if you say it's not happening. Just
Right.
look around.
Right.
So,
Well, the effect of what she's shared and everything that's been recorded, it may be like decades and centuries down the road, her teachings, before it really integrates in different cultures.
well, maybe. It depends
know,
on
I
how
mean,
things
look how-
stay on this planet in the future with what's going on. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. But
Right.
there'll be a time when people will be wanting this path. They'll be crying for God and wanting to do
They're
all that.
looking- Right.
Do you think this can keep on going the way it's going?
No, I don't think so. Not. No.
And anyone out there, do you think it can? I mean, look around. Things can't stay that way. No. I don't know what to say.
I wonder if there's another way to to even more so get the information out there. You know what I mean?
Well-
If they.
No, I mean, they've done everything they can,
Yeah.
and she's done everything she could. But this inner path also is a self-healing. You can teach yourself how to heal yourself. All right? And Christ is our inner physician and healer.
Right.
He's the one you go to through the Christ spark. And there's a course that they offer. It's called the Universal Life, the Inner Religion. That's what it is. Inner religion teaches us of the love for God and neighbor and animals and the effect it will have on us if we walk this path.
Yeah.
That's it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
That's what this inner path is. That's what she's teaching. And we can't be loving animals if we're eating them or hunting them or using them for experiments on and on, okay? We can't. That's not love for animal. We can't do love for nature if we're ripping down forests and trees and look at the, the Amazon? Look at that, We can't be doing those kinds of things. And when we're killing each other, wars, we can't be having wars. The Ten Commandments and the Sermon on the Mount in the Bible is the thing that you should follow. The rest of it is hearsay. But those two things that Moses taught and Christ taught, those are the things to follow. You follow those and you're on your own path And from then you can go and take this course with Universal Life. But those are the things that you have to do. They tell you these are the things. They tell you. How many people really know about the Sermon on the Mount? How many people really read it? That in the Bible, those things in the Bible are the truth. And that'll tell you where you're at, whether you agree or can do these things or not. You know? No one should be above us. No one should be below us. We're all brothers and sisters. No matter what race, religion, color, whatever we are, we're all brothers and sisters. But anyway, not to be confused with this influx of people from other countries coming here by the hundreds and thousands. It's not that they're not our brothers and sisters. It's not that they don't need help. But when they incarnated in those places to learn what they had to learn. And instead of staying there and working out what they have to learn and helping to make their countries good and better, they want to come here and in droves, which is going to eventually bankrupt the United States. And nothing is going to change. You know, don't go looking someplace for someone to give you something to help you. Work it out where you are. Help yourself. Help your people. All that. That's the thing that people don't understand, people don't see. It's not that it's not love. It's not that you don't love.
Oh, it's definitely a different perspective, about this.
Fix what you have. Don't be looking for someone to fix you. You got to fix yourself and fix your surroundings.
And would you say that's kind of a good synopsis of the message that is given, in her works,
In her works, if you, I mean, she doesn't say that outright. I'm saying that. That's from me.
That's your interpretation.
But from what we've learned and what we've been taught, you have to love each other. That's true. And it's not like you hate people who do these things to you, but you want them to wake up. You want them to understand. And this thing that's happening, I mean, I just use that. That's one example of what's going on in the world today. It's total chaos with that. You can't process things like that. You can't live in a peaceful world when you have hundreds and hundreds of people who have no place to live, have no place to go, live on streets and on and on and on, just to be here. People don't understand that. And of course, I'm sure it was used to in the elections. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. This is not about that. This is about Gabriele. So.
Right. All right. So you said she doesn't have anyone else following in her footsteps, or okay. But is it the intention? I hope she's on the planet for a very long time. But when she does leave, is it the intention of the community to keep this going, right?
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Is for whoever wants to.
She has many people who've walked this path, and they're doing the wonderful work, and they will help.
I think too, what's important with something like this is that I think what's most important is if the information resonates, like with any spiritual book I read, any spiritual class I take, right? Anyone I listen to on YouTube, does it resonate with me? That's the big question. Like, you don't, I mean, it is interesting to know where people get their information. But people don't have to get hung up on, she's a prophetess, what does that mean?
Right.
Does she,
exactly.
Is she who she thinks she is? Does she think she's God? I don't think she's God. You don't have to get hung up on that, understanding that.
That is an excellent point. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Because there are people who do that.
Yeah, don't get stuck there.
No.
She
doesn't want to be worshipped. She doesn't want anybody. She doesn't want any of that.
Right.
No,
she doesn't want any of that.
She's
She's not
all.
asking for that.
No.
Right.
But you're right. There are people who can say, who does she think
who
she is?
Who she thinks she is.
Oh, yeah.
She calls herself.
Well, the churches went after her. You know.
Did they?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did they
They tried to make her stop and everything.
Oh, wow.
Oh, definitely.
Wow.
And she was protected. God said, no more. You're not going to do this anymore. What happened to Christ and all the other prophets? Not going to happen anymore.
Okay.
This is going this is going to work. This is going to be out. Once the teaching's out there,
Then the teaching's out there.
yeah, and it's out
there's-
there.
and
It's out there for you.
There's no burying it.
Someday, somehow, some way, in some lifetime, you have to learn it in order to go home. Mm-hmm. Heaven doesn't hold a place for people who are acting like we are here. Mm-hmm. It's like it'd be like standing on a cotton, sink right down.
Yeah.
You can't.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it is. It's all loving, unconditional, loving, wonderful, beautiful place where we're all brothers and sisters, where we're all equal, and where we love our Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's a seraphim of the planet of wisdom, which is one of the five. There's seven heavens.
So what do you mean,
Yeah.
seraphim, an angel?
Like an angel. And her dual is Brother Emmanuel, who worked through her to do this movement, to get this out, the teachings out. He's from the other side.
So that's who she is in the heavens.
Yeah.
She's a seraphim.
Seraphim of divine wisdom. Yeah.
Okay. And
And
she,
Her
her dual?
Brother Emmanuel,
Okay.
called here on earth. He's the one who has been helping her and helping her with the teachings and everything. And he has
right.
spoken through her many times too. Mm-hmm. And they are duals. In other words, when they go back, they'll be together
They're
forever,
together.
always.
Okay,
They've
so they're-
incarnated. He was Isaiah.
Soulmates.
He incarnated as Isaiah at times. Yeah.
Okay.
A soulmate.
Yeah.
See, soulmate not to be confused with a dual. A soulmate
All right.
is someone you could have temporarily to help you get through things for each other, to help and learn and grow.
All right.
But a dual is for every male that was created, there's a female. Everyone has someone somewhere
Everyone?
in this universe.
Every
in the
soul?
every soul
Every soul
has
does.
someone somewhere.
Okay. So you're
So-
dual, you're
Yeah.
saying?
Why do you think we have marriages, you know, and people fall in love, and they, you know, that everything that's done here is a copy of heaven in a very lower way, but it's all the same. As above, so below. You've heard that saying? As above, so below. We have families here, our dual and spiritual children who we help to come into the world and do their thing, and you know, and it's
All right. So she's actually in heaven. She's made it there because we talk about the different purification
she's from heaven,
spheres.
yeah.
So she's
we're all from heaven.
right, but I mean
She never
made
fall. She didn't fall like we did.
She didn't fall.
No.
Oh, okay, that's the distinction.
Yeah.
Okay, so definitely then.
Angels never fell. In other words, they never left.
All
Like
right.
some of us, like most of us here. On this.
But she still decided to go back and incarnate in different lives just to learn.
yeah, to learn and to teach and to help.
To learn
and to
and to
whatever she had
teach.
to do. Yeah.
Okay, to really understand
Yeah.
then what it is to be
Right.
human, to really understand what it is to feel negative things. She had to experience
She
that.
had to experience it too,
and
just
then
like Christ.
she could really, yeah. that's
Christ was the
something.
next high. You know, was he was the ultimate, and she came after him. He was a teaching. She teaches. He was teaching, and look what happened to him. So
But she was protected. And
she's no more. That will not happen again.
She's been really
Yeah.
protected.
And there'll be no more prophetesses now.
So that's
It's
it.
time.
Yeah.
It's time to go home.
Yeah,
It's time to stop this.
right. But people have to keep learning. I mean,
The earth has a very strong pull. All the luxuries and all the things it offers, if you're young and you're healthy and you're good looking and you have some money, look at all the things you can do. And if you don't have it all in the start, you can get it. But then what? You have to leave it here when you go. So why get, I mean, okay, it was a great life, so I'm gone. Most people think that they're going to, when they die, it's over anyway, that there's nothing else. So why can't you take all that with you? What you take with you is all the goodness that you learned, all the people you helped, all the good things you did, all the love.
Right.
That's what you take with you, the wonderful memories. And then you go to school over there, and then you come back if it's good for you. Your angels will tell you what's best for you, and if you listen to them, you can keep growing and growing until you get back home to heaven.
let's see. Okay, so we talked about there are books about her life stories. And then also tell me about the cherubs and the cherubims. What's that all about?
Well, they're just angels.
Okay.
Special angels, they're leaders. God, when he had made heaven, and created everything, he put a dual pair in charge of each plane in of the heavens. And they are the ones who are in charge of the planet of wisdom. They are the heaven of wisdom.
So this is all new language to me.
I know.
So the planet
They're
of
very high angel. Yeah.
The planet of wisdom.
Is order. I think we talked about that. The order, will, wisdom, earnestness, patience, love, and mercy.
Okay.
Those are our chakras.
Right.
Those are what we learn, and from each one is special there for certain things it teaches us until we get home to mercy.
Okay.
Okay. And she's with wisdom, which is located here in our body. The chakra's here, but that's the plane when you get back to heaven. And people live in different places. When they go back to heaven, there's different places where you can go, and you can't even imagine. I mean,
you can't.
You can't imagine what it would be like. I can't imagine. I can only think of all the beauty that's possible, But we can't even imagine. We think this is beautiful here, and it is. The earth and nature and everything, animals are beautiful.
There are beautiful things here.
But they're so beautiful. The way we are, our vibration couldn't stand it if we were to see it now. We would just, we couldn't imagine the beauty that's there, And
this is believable because there's been so many people that have written books about near-death experience.
That's right.
And how they've crossed over.
Yeah. And they haven't even gone to heaven.
And
they've gone to higher planes.
But what they've seen is they all say the most beautiful flowers and plants that you've ever seen.
Right.
The most beautiful, everything's almost like a different color.
Right.
Just glows.
The higher you go, the more beautiful it is.
And just the level of happiness and
peace.
Nobody ever wants to come back, which fascinates me.
I know.
All the time. They're told to come back.
Unless we've experienced that in an after death or a dream. They can't imagine. People can't imagine.
No, it's hard
So they
to
say,
imagine.
nah, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist,
Right.
I hope that they'll wake up someday. How I really hope so we can all get home,
Right.
And then once we get back to a certain level, some people come here and incarnate to help other people.
That's always
But we
interesting
have to be
me
careful
too.
because you can also pick up new karma.
Because you could fall prey to temptation, basically. Yeah.
If you just listen to your angels and your guides, your teachers that help you, your animals that help you. They help you here, and they'll help you all along the way until you get back home.
Because everybody can hear. I always say that. Everybody can spiritually hear. You can hear the guidance being sent you. Don't worry, no matter where you are on the path, no matter even on your own spiritual path, I'm not necessarily referring to the inner path, but no matter where you're at, you can just stop right now and ask for guidance, and God is listening.
Somehow He gets the message to you.
God will get the message to you.
Yeah, definitely. I've had it happen so many times. Even recently, I lost something.
Yes.
And I heard something say in my head, look in there. Oh, all right. I don't think it'll be there, but I'll look. It was there.
Right.
And everybody out there, you've had this happen to you. I know you've had it happen to you.
Yes.
All right? You didn't have somebody stand there and go, ooh. It's just a thought in your head.
Right.
Do this or do that, or don't do it, or don't go there, or do this or do that. We get it all the time.
It's when we say, something told me not to do it, but I still did it.
That's right.
I had a funny feeling about this.
There you go.
But I didn't pay any attention to it. And we're all guilty of that. I'm still
and we
guilty
all have it.
I'm still guilty of that. As much as I think I'm aware and conscious, I'm still guilty of that. I go against I forge ahead and go against that little voice, and the little voice is always right. It's always right. It's always telling you what's right.
That's what you call our gut instinct.
Always our gut
Always
instinct.
Listen to your gut.
Your gut.
Your gut instinct.
Your gut.
Will never steer you
gut,
wrong.
Your heart.
Your heart.
Whatever it is you feel, whatever that force is that you feel, your heart, your gut, your feelings, your intuition, listen to that.
Yeah.
Because that's how God's, people think you have to hear, like a voice like you hear me, and it's like, no, that's not what you have to hear. No, it's an interpretation that comes in. It's the feelings that we get. It's the intuition that we have.
And when you get any teachings of any kind, question them. spiritual teachings,
Oh, yes, for sure.
always question.
Yeah.
Always question them.
Always question. You don't have to, and we say this
And
all
look
the
how
time
they're
on the
living their
show.
lives, how these people live their lives,
Right.
what kind of people they really are.
Right.
You know, there's a false front and then there's a real, you know, so, but just like I said, what resonates in you,
Right.
what your gut says, this is good, this is right.
Right.
And you may say, but I can't do it, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You can go as far as you can go, and you'll have plenty, more lives and whatever to do it. But someday we all will walk this path.
Right.
Every single one.
Right. And ask for the help.
Yeah.
Always ask for the help.
Always
Even if you don't
pray.
know where to begin.
You don't have
even
to
if you-
pray a prayer, a recited prayer.
No, you don't have
Just
to
talk
recite
to
a
God
prayer.
like we're talking.
Exactly.
And say, you can do it in a car. You can do it when you're walking in the woods. You can do it when you're sitting
Exactly.
down at the breakfast table.
Right.
Talk.
Just
to
talk.
God.
Just talk.
And your angels will help you.
Yep. Send me the angels to help me do this. I can't make up my mind. I don't know what
Right.
decision to make. I don't know where to begin to change my life.
There you go.
I don't know. Help me do that. What is it for me? And if you get a feeling you may get a feeling to go, Google the Inner Path. It's called Inner Path or Gabriele. And then you read it, and then you may move on. That may lead to something else. You may decide
That's right.
to stay. You may read it for a few weeks, a few years. You may, it's just, that's why our paths are all so different. And we cross paths, but they're very different because
Right.
we have that choice and that freedom.
That's right.
It's like, but just begin.
Just do something. Begin.
Begin reading.
Yeah.
Pick up one of the books we mentioned.
Pick up with Eckhart Tolle.
Just pick it up and see what
Try
you
it out.
think. Yeah, just try it out.
Start meditating.
See what you think. Get on the website. See what you
Meditating
think.
gets the mind quiet so that you can hear those
so
messages.
you can hear the messages.
Yeah.
That's just
And
it.
we get messages from everywhere. We get them from animals. When a certain animal comes into your life.
Isn't that the truth?
You turn the radio on first thing in the morning and you hear a song.
Yes.
Someone says something, you've been thinking about something, and all of a sudden you hear a couple talking,
Right.
and they say something was what you were thinking about, and your answer is there.
Right.
You never know.
Right.
But if your mind isn't quiet, you're
Right.
not aware.
Believe the
You're not
universe
aware.
is out there is really out there supporting you and helping you.
Yes.
So instead of looking at things as like you've said before, but the world, things are happening to you. Think of it in terms of for you.
Everything happens
So if
for
something
you.
gets canceled, you may be disappointed, but maybe that really happened for a good reason.
That's right.
Maybe, it's like, so I find I'm less disappointed about things. Like we had tickets to a concert, and randomly the artist canceled. And it was just like, for half a second we're just like, well, that's disappointing. We really wanted to go see her. And then it was just like, afterwards I'm like, oh, was there a reason? Maybe I'll never know the reason, but I bet there
Right.
was a reason. I bet the universe was really taking care of me, not taking things from me. I bet the universe was taking care of me.
You never know.
Yeah, you don't know.
You have to do what they say, what you resist persists.
Yeah.
So just let go.
Yeah,
let
just
go and
let
let go. I
go.
love that prayer that they say at the AA. God, grant me the strength to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
To know the difference.
That's a beautiful prayer. I think everyone should say that every day.
I do. I try.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful, beautiful
It
prayer.
really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Lord's Prayer is a beautiful prayer. That you should say every day. It's all you really need to say, but not in a rush, with heartfelt words, with heartfelt feelings. When you pray, not just as a reciting it,
Yeah.
but feeling every single word. And that's why meditation is so good for you, because it helps quiet you down and get you in touch with those soft feelings inside of you.
Right.
With what's there in all of us.
Right.
The love that's here. And our Christ spark that we have, that we talked about on our show, that's there to help us too. And
Yeah,
Christ is
envision
always
it.
there. He
Say
said,
that
call on me.
in
What did he say?
meditation,
Come
yeah.
to me, all you who are weary and heavily burdened, and I will help you. I will set you free. That's what we need to do. But we're a world of, I don't believe if I don't see it. Can't be. Do you see your breath? No. Not unless it's freezing and you blow it on something, right? I remember a brain surgeon told a story about he was talking to one of his patients, and the patient said to the brain surgeon, he said, no, the surgeon said to the brain surgeon, he said, I operated on many people. He said, I never saw a soul anywhere in a person's head. And the person said to him, but have you ever seen a thought? And yet we have them, right?
Yes, yes.
So just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there.
Right.
Doesn't mean it's not happening.
You won't find intuition either, but it's there.
It's there. That's right.
You won't find intuition. You know, I heard Deepak Chopra speak once, and he brought up that point.
What did he say?
He said, as Western doctors, we have, medical doctors, we have no idea what intuition is. We know it exists, but we don't know how that thought pops into your head. Okay?
There you go.
We don't know how it happens, but we believe it exists. So what is it? If we can't see it, we can't, like he said, I think he's a brain surgeon, but we can't open up your head and point and say, oh, look at how big her intuition is. We can't do that. It doesn't exist.
That's right. And this inner path, these teachings, will tell you everything you want to know. Everything. Why we're here, what we're supposed to do.
I'm going to look. I'm curious.
Like I'm
going to look at. I'm going to read.
Lots of literature to read, and then if you somebody decides they want to take walk the path, they can do that.
I'll have to get on her website too, because you talk about her website at the end of the show.
Books.
Every show,
Everything. God wanted us to know everything, and she has told us everything. Every single thing. So if people wonder why, this is how they can find out if they really want to know, So, anyway, anything else?
I think we covered everything. I think we covered it all.
Yes, you do.
I feel like I have a clearer understanding.
Yes, you do.
Anything you want to add?
No, just.
You must miss her.
Oh yeah. That's a portrait of her because she doesn't let them take pictures of her.
There's no pictures.
No. There's she's total humility. There's nothing else. She's the image of what we can all be someday, and she doesn't ever.
When she used to come and speak, was it at that? She had already received the information. She was just basically giving a lecture, or would she?
God and Christ would talk through her while we were there, and I was present when
that must have been
when
something.
they talked. Yeah,
Really?
And then all of a sudden, one time she was talking, and the pitch of her voice, something changed, and I go, that doesn't sound like Christ. And then it was God talking through her. And I got goosebumps again.
Wow.
And the voice, the way it was said, if you were attuned at all, you would know that was it. Yeah, that's how I felt. Tears in my eyes.
Wow.
And everything. Oh my goodness. I'm privileged to hear this, just to be here. I made the right choice. Listen to this. And when he spoke, it was, I can't describe it to you.
So her voice changes when she's
a little bit.
The
feeling changes.
All right, but she's
listening.
speaking.
So she's staying the same.
She's staying
Voice
the same.
doesn't change.
It's not like she
nothing.
gets, like you're saying, she doesn't get translated.
What you get, and I've talked to other people. They all felt the same way.
Okay.
We have to go. I'm just getting the message.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
well, this was fun. This was really great.
All right, so we'll give you our contact information. For Healing Outside the Box, it's me, Rosemary LaChance, phone number 203-627-7966, email whitebuffalo8@comcast.net, my website, www.rosemaryLaChance.com, and the important website, www.gabriele-publishing-house.com. And if you're not getting it down fast enough, get in touch with me and I will give it to you again. Do this for yourself.
And I'm Carla Augustine, and my website is www.carlaaugustine.com. And you can watch my show, Spiritual Invitation, on YouTube under Carla Augustine, or you can just go to my website.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the show. So for tonight, we're saying
Thanks for watching.
thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Mwah. Good night.
Fill your thirst beside the river. Wash the journey from your hands. Feel the comfort flow inside you. Come this far, you understand.